Welcome. Good morning. Good Tuesday morning. Welcome to Mary Tribe 55 plus couples only. We are your hosts. Oh, excuse me, baby.
Excuse me.
We're your hosts, Tony and Linda Sam, and we are grateful to be here on this Tuesday morning with our wonderful co-hosts, the Owens, Jeanette and Roscoe Lee Owens. Good morning, y'all.
Good morning. Yay.
Great to see you on this Tuesday morning.
Great to see you too, both of you.
Great to be seen, right, Roscoe?
Great to be seen. You know.
Well,
and wonderful to be heard. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Well, today we have a wonderful topic to talk about on our show. We have some wonderful guests that we will be speaking with. But before we bring our guest on, we're talking about caregiving. We're talking about caregiving today. What it is like to be caregivers for each other.
Why you pointing at me?
There he go. There he go. Caregiving is a very important subject to talk about.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Because we're over the age of 55. We're on the I'm on the 6th row, y'all on the 7th row. And so as we talk about these roles of life, we have to start thinking and talking about caregiving, because either one of us as partners could be the caregiver for the other.
That is right.
And so preparing ourselves mentally, emotionally, financially, in all kinds of ways to be able to do that is important. And so our guest who we have on today is walking the walk, talking the talk, and walking it as we speak. And so we're going to bring up them on the screen and introduce them to our community. I told them we wear our Mary Tribe shirts when we're on our show, because this is our uniform to let the world know that the Mary Tribe 55 plus couples only is here. We are branded and we are not going anywhere. We're only going to get larger and larger as our communities grow. And so we welcome to our show today none other than Ms. Dwan and Nate Fortier. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Good morning. Good morning.
That wonderful face. I'm sure some of our audience have seen this wonderful face on many things. We'll talk about you first, Dwan. We'll get that out of the top.
Right.
Go ahead and tell our wonderful audience a little bit about you, Ms. Dwan. We had you on the Ladies Only show last week, so me and Jeanette was able to ingratiate ourselves with your wonderfulness, so you'll be able to tell our users, our listeners, about you first.
Well, that is so kind of you. I appreciate it. I appreciate that so much. I'm Dwan Smith, Dwan Smith Fortier, and I'm an actress, a writer, producer, whatever it takes to keep working in this creative field. And you get to do a little bit of all of that. You may know me, some of my friends may know me, audience may know me as the girl from Sparkle, the movie Sparkle, which is one of my greatest achievements. I played the middle sister, Dolores, on that. And I'm the sister that left. And interestingly enough, she left to go do greater things. And that's part of the story, the script of my life. I haven't always just been in acting and stuff. I've been very involved in my community, the Silmark area community, for many years where I lived, with the National Council of Negro Women, because of Barbara Perkins. Linda, you know, our friend Barbara. And so it's just been my joy to be a mother and now a grandmother. We have 11 grandchildren, and active in the community, a wife and a caregiver. And my husband, Nate, is a retired LA County firefighter paramedic, 23 years. And he suffered a stroke about 14 years ago. So he's retired, but let me tell you, he's still head of the household. Don't get that twisted. So we're happy to be able to be here today and share some experiences from these 17 years of being a caregiver and learning as a couple how we care, not just me caring for him, but how he cares for me, how he reciprocates. And when you say caregiving, it means that it is an action word. You are giving, providing an action. And so that's what we do. We care for one another and we give as much as we can. So that's where we are in this cycle of caregiving. So that's a little bit
That
about it.
that is so awesome because at the top of the show, when I was speaking to our co-hosts, Jeanette and Roscoe, I was saying that same thing that we're in the sixth and seventh row of life. And so caregiving becomes more and more important to us as we think about our partners, as we think
And,
about caregiving for each other, not knowing who would be the caregiver at any given time. So in your stage of life right now, you're caregiving and giving to Nate, and he's giving back to you.
that's
So
right.
it is so important, and we are so grateful to have you guys here on our show with us. So
Well,
we know
thank
that
you.
Dwan is going to be having her own show coming up soon. We're going to be able to get out the way for her and her show.
Oh, that is so fun. What Nate and I have learned in caregiving, especially the kind of incident that we were involved in, because he had a stroke. Just suddenly, we were celebrating our 23rd wedding anniversary in Las Vegas, and we came in and he wasn't feeling well. And then I went and looked, and he was like this. And I had to call all the paramedics and the emergency services, which I didn't know in Vegas, they are prepared for you to have incidents. I did not know that. They have medics and people on staff, and when you call 911, they are like there right away. But at any rate, uh, this has been part of, first of all, the incident itself. It's an art that we're involved in. There's the incident itself, and then how life evolves as a result of that incident. And it's almost like we as caregivers learn to grieve because the person that we're taking care of is not the same that they were the day before the incident happened. So we are invited to a new normal, and that new normal is a make or break kind of situation for both. I think for both the caregiver and the caregivee, the one that gets the care, because that's where you learn. It's almost like in a marriage, the cycle of marriage. You have to learn. There's the honeymoon, and then there's the who are you, and yeah, well, who are you? That's the portion, and then you get accustomed to learn one another. It's the same thing, being a caregiver. You have to learn. You learn a different part of yourself, and you learn a different part of the person that you're taking care of.
That is so amazing. Partner,
Yes, you know what the amazing part of that as well is caregiving to the person and the person giving back to you. But it's those 11 grandchildren that are watching what you are doing, that you are
Yes,
caregiving them instructions by what you're doing and how God has blessed you and is blessing them, because when you walk the walk,
yes.
it's teaching, it's legacy building.
You are
It's
saying
wonderful to hear your story. It's a blessing.
you
Thank you.
you are so you are so on top of it because I have a one woman show that I do about caregiving, and one of the things that I say in that is when my husband had the stroke, I found out that it was I taking care of him was my mother, whom I saw taking care of my father, who we saw taking care of my grandfather. So
Yes.
it was a triangle. And
Yes.
what you said is so true because we are training our babies how to take care of us.
Yes.
If they don't see it, then they don't know what to do and they're lost. And the problem then becomes not that we won't get the care we give, it will be that they will feel guilt because they don't know what they're doing or not doing because we haven't
Yes.
trained them. So we have to train them, and thank God for that, because we never know when one or both of us might need it at the same. And we have to train them also, not just in physical care, because we think of that a lot, the day-to-day things, helping them get dressed, feeding them, all that. We have to train them financially how to take care of us. We have to let them know where our insurance papers are. We have to let them know what banks we bank with. We have to let them know what doctors serve us. We have a team of doctors at this point in our lives. You got a cardiologist, you got a ophthalmologist, you got somebody who's taking care of your knees. You have different specialties. So we need to be able to train them and teach them who to get in touch with, how to get in touch with them, and how to find them so that they can care for us. Because locked up in those papers are the resources. How do you get to the bank? Are you the person that's a co-signer on my accounts? So the training as a caregiver is extensive. This is not just something you do, and that's it, like that.
Absolutely. And that's some amazing information for us to transfer to our generations behind us. And we have a wonderful engineer in the background that is doing some amazing work. And so we're going to take a quick break and go to some commercials to keep the show going. These commercials help us to keep our show running. We're always looking for new opportunities for advertising with us. So take it away, Kijana, and we'll be right back as we talk about caregiving here on Mary Tribe 55 Plus Couples Only.
Welcome to the Jazz Zone. Allow the Jazz Zone to make your next event enjoyable and entertaining. The Jazz Zone is great for private parties, weddings, festivals, fundraisers, grand openings, and corporate affairs. Move up to the next level of entertaining with the Jazz Zone. Check out our website at jazzzone.net. That's JAZZZONE.net. Or call the Jazz Zone at 626-798-6848.
LA South Chamber of Commerce. Together we're creating economic growth in the South LA and South Bay communities through business development, networking, community, and advocacy. We're not your average Chamber of Commerce. Connect with us at lasouthchamber.com.
If you're not a member, join. But join today. Don't wait for tomorrow.
They are phenomenal. There is none like LA South Chamber of Commerce.
This is the chamber for you.
I'm so proud to be here and part of the LA South Chamber.
When I went to find a chamber that could help me do positive outreach and advocacy, LA South Chamber was the place to go. I'd recommend it to anyone.
Become a member.
My name is Kijana Owens. I am co-founder of Success Express Marketing Solutions. Our business is cultivating more business for your business. I want to tell you real quick about our program that is one of the most comprehensive business development online marketing support programs out there, which is the VASP, VASP, Virtual Assistant Support Program. This system allows you to operate and run your business while we help monitor and help you cultivate more business for your business online. contact us at 909-686-1698 and visit us online at successexpressmarketing.com. Look forward to helping you take your business to the next level.
Sting your brand with It's the Stinger.
Welcome back to Married Tribe 55 Plus Couples Only. We're your hosts, Tony and Linda Sam, along with our wonderful co-hosts, Jeanette and Roscoe Lee Owens. We have an exciting show today. We have a wonderful a set of guests on with us, the Portiers, Miss Dwan and Nate. They are wonderful. We are here talking about caregiving. And we've shared at the top of the hour all the greatness that's surrounded around caregiving and how we are care and giving for each other. And this is an amazing example of a couple who is living their best life through caregiving. Doing it up, Dwan, give it up, give it
up. It's good. Thank you so much for having us. And thank you for the conversation, because one of the things about being a caregiver is being able to share and talk with other people who are doing the same thing. That way you don't think you're so crazy when you have those moments. You know, you have those moments where you need to go in your little prayer closet and just scream and, get it out. When you are able to talk with other couples like you guys, then you realize you're not in this boat by yourself. And that's important, because if you shut yourself off as a caregiver and all you're doing is taking care of that person and you're not giving back to yourself, it's like any kind of vessel. You turn it up and you keep turning it out and emptying it and not refilling it. There's not going to be anything for you to go back to. So as a caregiver, you have to be aware of your vessel. You have to be aware of what you're pouring out of it. And you have to also be aware of what you're refilling it with. One of the things, I think you kind of become a specialist of the kind of care that you're giving. My caring for Nate, my kind of care might be different from that person who's caring for a child who's not well. Because see, remember, caregiving is not just about us giving to one another seniors. We're talking about children who have special needs, those people who take care of them are caregivers. We're talking about brothers who have responsibility for their sisters. We're talking about young people whose parents are not able to help them, who they're lost, and now they're caring for their siblings. So caregiving, it's almost impossible to be in a room of more than 3 people and 2 of them are not caregivers. 2 out of every 3 are. And sometimes it's 3 out of every 3, and they may not tell you what they're doing. They may not want to share it because that person they're caring for has pride, has a certain kind of pride. They don't want it known. So we have all kinds of aspects. And when I said specialist with Nate's particular stroke, he ended up having what is called expressive aphasia and apraxia. That means it's here. It's in his brain, but there's a short circuit between him thinking it and executing the word. Now, he's been in therapy and he's an amazing man. I'm grateful that my husband is a nice man. See, everybody doesn't get a nice part.
Girl, speak on it.
You know what I'm talking? He's a nice man. He's soft-spoken. He's kind. He gives. He takes care of, we're here because he took care of us in terms of his occupation, being able to be retired and having the benefits the fire department has been able to give. So I'm blessed that I have a nice man. But our particular my particular prayer for God was, since he couldn't express himself as he wants to all the time, give me a spirit of discernment, Lord. Please bless me with a spirit of discernment so that I'll be able to understand what he's saying, and he will be able to express it and get it across. Because when you're trying to say something and you can't express it, it gets frustrating. So as a caregiver, I think it's important to specialize and be aware of everything that goes along with what you're doing for your particular person that you're caring for.
Absolutely. That is some amazing information and advice for all of those who would be entering the stage of caregiving, and those of us who are even having this conversation around it. I know today is the 1 year anniversary of my mom being in heaven. And I had started thinking and saying, oh, I wasn't going to do anything on her that day of the month, the 16th specifically. As God would have it, the 16th landed on today for the show. So it was like, yeah, you are going to be busy and do something and talk about things on this day. And so my sister was a caregiver for my mom before she transitioned. So, and I, in my caregiving, always celebrated her, always celebrated her birthday every year. Put together a big celebration for my family so that we could give her flowers while she's alive. And that's what brought me and Roscoe together in terms of the jazz and blues legends that we honored in this past 10 years. So we've created our own caregiving event once a month. And it's every third Thursday of the month. We celebrate the birthdays of all who want to come and celebrate with us between 3 and 7 o'clock at Barbara Morrison's Performing Arts Center. So it is apropos that this conversation is happening today when we do this work every day. And I never thought about it, Roscoe, in terms of us caregiving until just now.
You know what I want to say, because I was thinking about your mom. All that you were saying, Dwan, is my wife, Jeanette. I called her a word, and I had to go to the dictionary and show her this word means you are the bomb. She took care of her mom, her brothers, her sister. I mean, all the grandkids. Everybody that wants anything comes right to her. I have to get in line, but I love the line that I'm in. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I had to take care of my dad as he succumbed to cancer. And this is how I ended up meeting Linda in the first place, because I was doing that and he was a musician. It was like, okay, we're going to carry this on. And here we go. And here we go. And Linda said, well, look, we celebrate people. I said, let's do this. So my wife, Linda, yourself, is like one thing you said. You could be in a room and there's 3 people and all of them are caregivers, but nobody's really letting you know their personal story.
Right.
And there may be 4 people in the room and there's only 3 people you see.
Exactly.
Because the spirits up in that room talking like, hey, you know, we're all learning. And I thank you for your journey.
It's amazing. I think the we are all learning as caregivers. You learn a new normal, every day. And I share this story in my one-woman show. I was at the hospital when Nate, after Nate had the stroke, and I was sitting, and this lady came in, and she was an older white woman. She had on her little tight pants and her little tight T-shirt and all that. And her husband had been in a room with my husband. And it frightened me because here I am, and I'm gonna be real honest. You know how we are. I'm in this room, and here's this older white man, and I'm thinking right away, here we go. I'm not, I hope I don't have to deal with this. But his wife, his wife came in. Bear, his name was Bear. They called him Bear. His wife came in, and she said to me, she said, "Here, is that your husband over there?" I said, She said, what happened? I said, he had a stroke. So did my husband. He had a stroke. He had a stroke. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you how you take care of him with this stroke. She said, every day you have a new normal. Just don't worry, a new normal. Do you know, y'all, I sat down at that woman's feet and listened to everything she had to tell me. I went past because I was like, the screen was up. I don't know who you people are and how y'all gonna come off. We live with that screen in front of us. But it turned out she taught me so much. That one phrase, new normal. What is your new? And she said, what's normal, what's your new today may not be your new tomorrow.
Amen.
The new normal that you adjust to today may not be the same new normal that you deal with tomorrow. So it implies the kind of flexibility and sensibility. Because one thing I have learned, one of the main things about taking care of my husband is I never want to damage his masculinity. He is the man.
There you go.
He's the man of the house. And I don't care if he's laying in bed whispering, he's still the head of the house. God first, then my husband. So, and I think that developing those kinds of, you have to make the observations and taking the time to just be still enough to observe and then get information from other people that can help you on the same journey. Those things will keep you from losing your mind as a caregiver. And I'm serious about that, because when you're doing long-term care and it's intensive, you have to guard your mind. You have to guard your thoughts. Because there's no time like that when you're weak that the enemy doesn't try to come in and say things to you. You say, you didn't do this right. And why didn't you do this? And what time are you going to do this? Or who said what? No, you're doing what God leads you to do. And the scripture says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. Go seek resources. Find out, because there are resources in the community that can help you. And you do need not to just be on your own. No man is truly an island when you're taking care of someone. There's so much to learn. There's so
Absolutely.
much.
And that's such an amazing and impactful testimony, Dwan. And we are so grateful to have had you here on our short. This show we may have to extend it next year to go an hour long, because 30 minutes just isn't enough time to cover everything, but it's enough time for us to grasp just enough of the information that we need to carry us throughout the rest of the week. And we're only here on Tuesday mornings from 9 to 9:30. We're live on Facebook, which is able to be played over and over and over again. Make sure you share it out with all of your friends on all of your pages so that they're able to see this wonderful show again and again. And share it with your grandkids, all 11 of them. Share it with them. So let them see that grandmama and grandpapa come on TV. So this is our little TV. And talk about where we are in our lives right now.
And we have on our matching shirts. We have on our matching shirts.
Oh, wow.
Yes, you do. They're beautiful, too. Beautiful.
Yeah. They say Black Pride.
That's what I said. I said that. I was reading that. I said, that's a Black Pride.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
I love it. I love it. And the first natural on total national TV.
Yes.
All of that from the beginning to the end. It's
always a blessing. Yeah, that's real quick part of the legacy. I was the first Black to wear my natural on TV and major national commercials. So I broke the hair ceiling, broke the nap ceiling in a sense. And so I want that to be known and to be left, because it was important at the time. It's been important.
Important now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's on our show last week. We talked about that with me and Jeanette on our ladies show. So next week, is the men's week. We won't be on the show with them. They'll have their own guests. we're doing this rotation of just being able to highlight our guests and highlight our couples, highlight our ladies, and then highlight our men. And we appreciate you being here with us today. And we always go out in song. You know, being that my husband was a former Delphonic, he takes us out in song. And so he's prepared to do something this morning. I never know. So we're going to sit back in this next 2 minutes and hear him. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back after we wrap up the show.
I don't know about being prepared, man. I don't have a band here, but I can do some a cappella.
All righty. Go on ahead, honey, with your a cappella.
But I want y'all to join me if you remember this song. If this world were mine, I would place at your feet.
At your feet.
All that I own.
Oh.
You've been so good to me. If this world were mine, I'd give you the flowers,
yes,
the birds, and the bees.
Sing it.
And that's about all I'm going to give you.
Thank you, honey. Thank you.
The song was perfect for the time because caregiving is that song.
Thank you. Thank you. That was so, ooh, that's so, that got my day going.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up the show, y'all stay tight. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back with you next week here on Married Tribe, 55 plus couples only. We thank you and please share with your friends and family.